And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ohana, the red Terran player, Root Kitty, or as we know him, Root Major Juanito, the best Terran player in Mexico, the best Terran player in North America, and the number 4 ranked player on this fine continent. He's spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ohana, which does mean family, by the way. Down in the bottom right is Revival, the blue Zerg of Team TSL. Team SCV Life.
Are you sad that GSL doesn't use Ohana anymore, Ben?
Yes. It's the greatest map ever made.
Do you even know? Wait, do you know who made Ohana?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you know Greetorp helped balance Ohana?
I did not know that.
He apparently I think was it Iron Man or
Travis
Super
Iron Man Barker?
Yeah, was he the one who made this
Yep.
map? Yeah. So Iron Man went to a bunch of people, was like, "What do you think?" And then Greetorp was like, "I think you should change this, change this, change this, change that." And then eventually that was made for, at the time it was TPW, the Planetary Workshop. So Greetorp basically helped balance Ohana initially, and I think people don't know that.
Greetorp has the skills to make the maps, also the skills to pay the bills. As we are going to go ahead and see how this one's going to unfold. I like Ohana a lot because it's given us some incredibly exciting games across all the matchups. It allows for pretty diverse play styles, but I will say that certainly in recent history, Zergs have learned to exploit creep spread, learned to exploit their great mobility, and learned to get up into the late game where they have those brutal armies. Now, Major's a guy that we know likes to play mech, but we said that about him yesterday, and he didn't pull it at all. He played Bio in all of his games yesterday. We'll see if that trend continues here on Ohana against Revival, as he has gone Command Center first into a very fast gas.
Yeah, I actually really do enjoy watching Major's Bio because he has good control. It's actually kind of funny because when he was here for the Root Battle Royale for the Heart of Swarm show matches, like, I always know when Major's playing Bio versus when he's playing mech, just by the sound of his keyboards, because like when he does the hold position stutter step micro, it's really loud. It's like boom, 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 boom. But when he's like microing tanks and he's like trying to pull back Hellions, it's very like methodical, swift, but like really quiet. So I'm like, oh, I always guess, like, is he playing Terran versus Terran or Terran versus Protoss? Like, well, it's usually dependent on how the sounds he's making on his keyboard.
That's interesting. I hope that we see some of Major's mech. I know that he has drawn a lot of inspiration from MVP's play. MVP, of course, recently runner-up in the GSL against Life.
Yeah, but MVP's already out of GSL. That's what's kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah, next season.
And he's done for 2012 at least, unless he can make some kind of miraculous comeback and do something else. So we're not going to be seeing much of MVP for the rest of the year. We see that Revival, though, he's another up-and-coming Zerg that's been kind of pegged as, I want to say the same as Violet for a while, and it's funny because both of them used to compete in Playhem Cups and Zotacs and online tournaments all the time, and Revival was always second place. He was always second place, losing to Violet in every single tournament they ever met. It was always ZVZ Finals because I was casting Playhem at the time. But as soon as Violet stopped and he went to Team Empire, he started going to lands, won IEM Sao Paulo, which you and Kevin were at. Then Revival was like, yes, this is my time. But then Hyun started showing up to the online tournament, and Revival was still the king of silver. If you look, his second and third place finishes, Revival was so high compared to how many times he got in first. I feel so bad because this guy is talented, but just the online tournament warriors just seem to have his number.
There's definitely this pool of online Korean Zergs that just wreck so many of these online qualifiers, online events. Revival, Hyun, like you said, Violet for a period of time. You guys are so consistent, so strong, and they keep running into each other in the finals. You do have to feel for Revival when somebody as strong as Hyun has decided that they're going to just make Playhem their daily allowance cup.
Pretty much. And it's funny because it runs twice a day. They play in both EU and North America, so. But still nice. For those of you who don't know, Playhem is a free to sign up service where you can play against anyone of all skill levels, but usually your chance of running to a Korean Zerg is very high. Couple Hellions poking and trying to take care of the creep tumors. Very nice job. Major pretty much is known for using Hellions extensively, especially when he beat Hyun in TSL 4. Everyone was super surprised. And the reason why is because Hyun was up 2 games. Everyone's like, Major's just going to get 3-0, typical foreigner. And then Major just got non-stop Hellion run-by after run-by, killing drone after drone, and pulled his way back into the series for a complete reverse sweep. And I think everyone kind of associates Major with Hellions when it comes to TCG.
Definitely one of the big characterizers of his play style, as we do see these Hellions already poking around onto the creep of Revival. No spine crawlers anywhere for Revival. He's doing this in a very risky fashion. If Major had done something crazy like double reactored Hellion, Revival would have a really hard time holding. But in this case, when there's only a single factory pumping out these Hellions, Revival should be all right. He's going to chase these away with only Zerglings. Banshees are out as well.
And Cloak's about almost done, so it's going to be a nice timing here. The Hellions have done a good job getting out and being able to poke those Zerglings. Meanwhile, Revival is going to lose his queen at the 3rd base. The Spore Caller only about 3/4 done. Major can now pick off some drones and just shut down mining. Meanwhile, getting up his own 3rd command center. He is going for double armory. Mech is awesome on Ohana because of the short push distance, as well as not as many counterattack paths as a map like Whirlwind or even, I don't know, like Top Kingdom.
Revival is just going to, or I'm sorry, Major's just going to kill as many of Revival's drones as he can here before he flies away. 7 kills in total, amongst them a queen and a handful of workers. At this point, I think Revival's more or less stabilized, though. He's got spores at every base. He has his queens out once again. And he's just been droning this entire time. He's got 54 drones to the 45 of Major, who's already up to 3 bases, by the way.
Yeah, and I think he's doing this very nicely. Same thing with almost all of his bio play. It just seems very seamless in this transition. He's able to put pressure on Zerg at all times, and that's what you need to do. Revival's drone count is not that high, just hitting 60, and it's already 10 minutes into the game. So I think Major's doing this pretty well, and Revival hasn't been able to do that much, considering that Major's been able to cover the map and control it so well.
Yeah, right now the Ling's just kind of running around looking for openings, but Major seems well aware of this movement. He's already bringing his Hellions back to the 3rd base. Banshee's also going to fly right to where these Zerglings are waiting and will start picking away at them, so no real damage going to be taken by this run-by attempt. More factories going down for Major. He's going to be transitioning probably into some Thor production here, but we have seen him play a Mass Siege tank Hellion style in the past.
Yep, Thor's pretty standard at this point. You're very vulnerable to anything that can hit you from the air, as we saw in yesterday's NASL game. Select was just not prepared for any kind of air from Zenio, and as a result just got rolled. Queen's trying to get into here position to try to fend off against the Hellions, but I mean, Major just has the Banshee support, and he's doing a good job keeping these Banshees alive. They bring so much utility because of how much they're able to zone. The Hellions get a free pass into the natural, and they're able to snipe a lot of drones if they can get into the right position. Major trying to do a little bit too much, though. Doesn't manage to pick off that. Oh, just kidding. More Hellions coming in, and he's doing lots of damage.
Hellion harass is fantastic. He's killed a ton of workers here, and a lot of Lings are going to hatch and be quite lined up. Ultimately, those Hellions will fall, but not before 25 worker kills in total. That puts Major up 67 harvesters against 53. He is sitting at an economic advantage right now, bringing in a lot more money than Revival and continuing to position his units very well. Hellion's going to catch these Zerglings in transit. Another small victory for Juanito.
I think you're right, Ben. When you said early on, I just like to bring it out that the lack of early spine crawler is really allowing Major to harass a lot with the Hellions, poke way more than they should, because a lot of those Hellions were so weak. The spine crawler normally can get 1 hit per Hellion-ish if you can zone them off correctly, and I think Revival hasn't been able to drone that hard. Major is such a big economic advantage right now, 76 to 68. 4th base uncontested. This is awesome timing on the 4th base, which is also extremely important considering, I mean, Revival's economy is not that strong.
And Revival has left the game. Looks like a disconnect here on Ohana, guys. So we're going to come back to the desk here, as we're going to have to figure out exactly what happened.
I was not expecting that. I was like, oh, is my computer freezing up? And I'm like, and I was like spam clicking.
Frodan very confused.
What was that? Okay.
Well, that was kind of funny. All right, guys, we're going to play a quick commercial. We're going to figure out what's going on with Major Revival on Ohana. Stick around. We'll let you know what happens when we're back.